So a while ago my wife found this mosquito trap at the store and she brought it home. The thing is, for a good while we've had a lot of mosquitoes come here by our front door. So the idea is to have this installed in such a way that it is at an angle next to the front door, so the mosquitoes will get zapped when they try to get into the house. At least that's the idea. Yeah, it works as following. It has like two lights inside that are very pretty for mosquitoes. There's like a big zapper in front and that will kill the mosquitoes. So underneath it has a small trap that you can pull out. And this is where all the mosquitoes will accumulate. So today in this video I will make a stand so it can hang freely next to the front door. Now it only has this handle here. I had hoped it would have something to screw onto the back here. I couldn't, I don't see that, so maybe I will just dismantle it a little bit and screw some holes in there, because that would make it much more sturdy. But I am gonna start just by making something for the handle. Now for this project I'm gonna use a leftover piece of 2x4 of which I already cut off a length. I'm gonna slice it in half for this project because it's pretty light, and also for the base I will use a leftover piece of 2x8 from which I cut out the star for the wood Christmas tree that I made with my 4-year-old son. And yeah, for stability reasons I think I'm gonna add a piece of wood to the back to make it more stable. Now also in this video I want to try it and see if I can cut off like a sliver of wood using the circle saw, so it comes out much smoother. So that's the experiment for today as well. So I'm just double checking to see how thick this wood is, because I still have my mark from the previous video, so that's right here. This wood is slightly thicker, but since I'm gonna cut off the rough pieces using the circle saw, I'm still gonna use this mark right here. And then maybe later on I will make sure that it's nice and square. I just want to make sure that this comes out nice, even though this is probably like a very temporary setup. I just want to get the experience in to see if I can actually turn this old piece of wood into something nicer, so like a nice square and long piece of wood. But now that I look at it, I almost can't believe how crooked this wood is. Let me get a very straight piece and put it on it, then you can really see how crooked this is. Yeah. No way. You can see here, let me just take out the camera and really show this. This is almost too much. So it starts out lined up, and then when I move all the way to the end, you can see how extremely bent this wood is. So this is almost unworkable, so I'm just gonna make the straight line using this very straight piece of wood, and then I guess the rest will just be discarded. While I'm at it, I'm also gonna do this line one time, because that is just how thick it can come out, and this is like a new piece of 2x4, so it should be fine. After a bit of cutting, I'm left with two pieces that are pretty decent to use. I marked the length until which I can use them. So this one is slightly shorter than this one. So I'm gonna put it next to the door to see which one is long enough, and of course we'll use the shortest. So let's see. Yeah, the mosquito trap shouldn't be too low. So if I put it here, yeah, it might be too high. But if it's here, it is way too low. So I will have to use the longer piece. So you can see that over here it's slightly thicker than over here. So I'm gonna try to correct for that. So just use my extremely straight piece of wood, place it on top, and continue the line. And then you can actually see it like all this that I'm marking right now. This is what needs to come off first. So that's the first order of business, just to get the wood as straight as possible. Okay, so next up I'll just cut off a very thin sliver of the wood on both sides. I'm not gonna make it into a square because I think it will weaken the wood too much, and it's a temporary project anyway, but I just want to see how it comes out if I take off a thin sliver of wood with the circle side. My initial response is that this came out nicer than expected. Obviously, it's much better to use a planer for this, like an electric planer. It really can take off like a really thin sliver, but yeah, that's not a tool that I have available right now. So just make the most of what I have, and yeah, you can really see like what's underneath a really old piece of wood. Now, next up, the base I want it to be at a perfect 90 degrees, and that's not the case right now, so I'm quickly gonna cut off just a little bit here at a perfect 90-degree angle. I'm trying to figure out how to put it together, but I think I'm gonna go with a classic stand because the weight is gonna be leaning forward on this side, so that's why I think the foot like so, it makes sense. Yeah, I might actually just cut this off at the end, I don't know yet. Like now it's gonna add like maybe a bit of minimal support, but at least for this part I think this is like the right position for it. And I'll just mark all the way around it, like so, like a pretty heavy mark. And what I will do next is I will drill like a big hole in here, and then use the jigsaw to cut just before the line, so the line is still visible, and then hopefully if I do it right, it's going to be hard to put the wood in, and then that's exactly how I want it to be. So I will go with a 1/1/8. It is just shy of the size of the square, so that's going to be perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm always a bit worried about wood chipping, and it always kind of happens. I think I should have started drilling from this side earlier on, because you can see like on this side the top is clean. So if I had just cut it halfway and then started cutting from here, it would have been perfect. For the next time. turning the wood because I want the cut to be straight down, and you can see like it's pretty straight down like this. But if you just cut it from one side, it's not going to be like that. So that's why I keep on turning it. Now also the lines are still visible, so hopefully the wood is not gonna fit, and then I need to cut it a little bit more and then it will fit. Boy, it's really close. It's really close. So if I wiggle it, I have a feeling it's gonna go in. Almost. Yeah, so the width is good, this is good, but this is not good. So I'm gonna cut off just a little bit here, and then it should fit very snugly. This is how I want it. I'm gonna put it on the floor, and then I can just use another piece of wood to slam it in. Yeah, it should be tight, but not so tight that the wood is gonna split. So it's kind of delicate, because if I cut more, it's gonna be loose. And like this, it's nice and stiff. So snap it just a little bit more. The wood is also kind of old, so I'm not sure whether this was already here. I have a feeling it just started to crack, so I'm not gonna pong it in more, but you can see that it's almost all the way to the end. Now, if I had the proper tools, I could do a much preciser job, but yeah, these are the tools that I have, so I work with speed, style and strength using only basic power tools, so that's why it's a bit limited. But you can see it's in place, and yeah, it's actually pretty firmly. The only thing is that it's wobbly to this side, so that's why I will need to put a small piece of wood to the back to give it more support. So that's why I initially brought this piece of wood, and I just need to figure out like how long I want it to be. So almost 20, so let's just put it at 20 for the center. So I'm just gonna cut it off at 40 and then attach it to this piece of wood. Okay, next I'll mark the middle of the stand. Now next I'll mark the places to drill the holes, so that's going to be approximately here and approximately here. I just want to make sure that the middles are lined up, so I marked the middle on this piece of wood and the middle on this piece. So what I need to do here, I just line up this piece with this piece here. Next up, I drilled the holes in the piece that will be attached to the back. So now I'm just gonna slightly drill the holes in the base as well. Make sure they stick out just a little bit here. Same here on this side. Okay, then I can line it up with the holes and then just drive them in. So this time around I really want the head of the screw inside of the wood, because I plan to do a heavy sanding after, and if the head sticks out, it's just gonna mess up the sandpaper. So next up I'm marking the position of the mosquito trap, so I'm just gonna mark it here. So this is an approximate position. And I will have to think of something to keep it in place, because ideally I would like to cut the plastic, but I cannot find a way to open it, and I'm afraid that I will cut into the wires or something, so I'll just make something around it. So I did some figuring out just now. So I have a thin piece of wood. It's just too big for the space between the mosquito trap and the handle. So what I plan to do is I will make like a small incision, and then I can cut it, and then it's gonna stay in place as well, and then I can screw this onto the stand one time. So here is the piece of wood. I can turn it and it will fall within here. It will stay snugly in place. So to make it easy for the mosquito trap to come off, I'll also add like a band here. So yeah, it can maneuver. Alright, so next I'll mark the position of the hole. So I want the hole here and the hole here. I'll start drilling the holes with a small drill first, so the drill doesn't start to walk. So I got these short bolts that I bought a long time ago, and I never really used them. And they are the perfect length for this project. So I'm gonna drill some bigger holes here and start using those bolts. That went just about right. I think it's a bit overkill to use two bolts here, but yeah. It's what I got, so. I'm just thinking, if I want to use this wood again, this is gonna be a severe weak spot. I'm just gonna add some screws to keep it in place, like else, yeah, it's overkill to use two big bolts for it. One bolt I like, because then I know for a fact that it will not come down, but for the turning, I think a screw is good enough. Alright, let's see how she hangs. She hangs almost mighty fine, so that's what I want. Now I just need to figure out something for the below side to keep it in place. The only thing is that below here there's like a door that comes out, so that makes it like a little bit more challenging. I think I got it, like to the back here. I can just use like a metal strap, wiggle it through, and use two small screws to attach it here. So they come like this. I'm just gonna bend it flat, like so. Same on this side. And then I'll just find a way to wiggle it through. Now, to make it look nicer, I will do a quick sanding, and then it's time to put it up. a very basic stand for a mosquito trap using scrap pieces of wood. I will put it up and see if it actually works. Let me do a full walk around. So I used a metal strap to attach it below, and for the top part I cut out small pieces of wood that gave like a small arch, so I can also take off the mosquito trap if needed. Yeah, the brand is Polar. I plugged it in a while ago. It gives like a small bright, not really bright, a small light, a dim light. And if it works, it has like a small drawer below here, and this should fill up with mosquitoes. Right now there's nothing in it, some sawdust, but that's about it. So yeah, the measurement is like subjective, like in the house we should see less mosquitoes, and the drawer of this mosquito trap, it should fill up. Yeah, and a bit of a reflection, like I think I should invest in some small files or other things, because just now I was reluctant to cut off more wood, because I know that it's a bit hard to control. If I cut off too much wood, then the wood is not gonna fit as snugly as it does now. But the only thing was just now that I was really reluctant to keep hitting the hammer, because I was afraid that the piece of 2x8 was gonna split. So that's an idea for another day. Also, maybe I can use an oscillating tool for the same purpose, but I have to look into that. I don't know yet. Please stick around, because the video ain't over yet. I'm gonna give a report a few days from now and maybe a week from now to bring you up to speed as to how this mosquito trap actually worked. So this is the spot, and we'll check back in a few days, few weeks. So it has been about 24 hours, so I'm gonna take the score. If you look at the zapper metal inside, there are a lot of moths on it, but I don't see many mosquitoes. So the moment of truth is when I open the drawer below. So let's check and find out. Okay. Actually, only moths. I don't see any mosquitoes. Okay. Well, maybe next time. So I'm gonna check back again in a few weeks or a week from now to see if it makes any difference. This far, subjectively, we didn't really notice it in the house, but maybe it needs some time to get started. So it has been a week since I installed this mosquito trap machine thing, and after the first day I wasn't really too certain, like how good is this thing gonna be, because it only caught some moths, but not even flies or anything else. So it has been on for most of the week, and you can see like it caught a lot of the insects in between the high voltage thing. So I'm gonna open the drawer to see how many mosquitoes it actually caught, because that's what we bought it for. Okay, let's analyze this. So what I see here, I see 0 mosquitoes, I see some calm weather flies, and a lot of decayed moths. So yeah, I already saw it like after the first day, but I just wanted to let it run for a full week to get like some more data. This project, it's a fail. A machine like this, it really doesn't do anything for mosquitoes. It catches moths, and maybe it will catch flies. It didn't catch any flies in our setup. In defense of this thing, the box did say it's for indoor use, but yeah, still it should have caught at least one mosquito. Didn't do anything like it. So I would file this in the same category as those machines that make like a really high noise. It's also supposed to repel mosquitoes, because those don't work either, and neither does this. So I would say this is pretty much a scam. I don't think this is any good at all. So I'll probably tear it down later today, but yeah. You just got the data, so don't buy a product like this. It will not do anything. to repel mosquitoes.